Let's take you back to this report regarding the death of Arshad Sharif, a famous Pakistani journalist, on Kenyan soil, which triggered high-level multinational investigations. Circumstances surrounding the shooting incident made little sense to those seeking to find out exactly what happened. Autopsy reports and statements taken from various actors give different answers to the question of what really happened. Now, Hassan Mugambi waded through investigation reports, both in Kenya and Pakistan, and he now attempts to answer the question, who killed Arshad Sharif?
Arshad Sharif, a Pakistani journalist who was shot dead on Kenyan soil on the night of the 23rd of October 2022, left behind a myriad of questions that investigators are yet to conclusively answer. On that fateful day, Sharif is reported to have spent the day at Amodamp Kwenia, a shooting range in Magadi, Kajiado County, 60 kilometers from the Nairobi Central Business District. The shooting range is owned by his host, identified as Wagar Ahmed. According to statements recorded by investigators into Arshad's death, Kuram Ahmed, Wagar's brother, who was driving the vehicle registration number KDG 200M, says they left the shooting range at around 8:30 p.m. Kuram says he was the driver as Sharif occupied the front passenger seat. Little did he know this would be the last drive with his relative alive. After close to 15 kilometers on rough road, and just as they were about to join Magadi Road to return to Nairobi, where they had come from before spending a night at the range, the statement reads, "I saw some small stone used to barricade the road." Kuram states that he drove past the stones thinking they were placed by robbers. He says he saw no one trying to flag him down. The statement is in sharp contrast to another one recorded by a contingent of GSU officers behind the stone barricade on the road. As Arshad Sharif and Kuram Ahmed were leaving the range, a totally different piece of communication was being relayed to officers at the Magadi Field campus. In a statement written by 5 officers, including Chief Inspector Julius Some, Inspector of Police Joseph Yota, Sergeant Joseph Mwashori, Corporal Kevin Mutuku and Police Constable Matthew Mwendo, who were deployed and who erected the said barricade, say they were responding to a signal from Starehe Police District that circulated a report on the theft of a motor vehicle and abduction, OB number 70 of the 23rd of October 2022. One Douglas Wainaina parked his motor vehicle registration number KDJ 700F outside an electrical shop and left his son, namely Duncan Kamau, inside the said vehicle. The communication to the officers stated that the vehicle had been spotted moving towards Magadi Road from the range on this road known as Kora. It is at this point that the officers say they erected a makeshift road block here to stop the vehicle that was coming from the shooting range direction towards the main road. And they say in their reports that the driver of the vehicle refused or defied their orders to stop, instead opening fire at them. They say that is when they responded. They instead say someone from inside the vehicle fired a round, injuring Corporal Kevin Mutuku. Their statements that are not quite different from one another say since they had only one vehicle, they prioritize treating Mutuku instead of following the assailant who had shot at them. By this time, the 50-year-old investigative journalist was dead. The officers had retreated and the questions started streaming in. Another point of mystery is here at a Sonorua area, where the area assistant chief reports a vehicle was found. The same vehicle that drove past the roadblock in the hail of bullets, but this time round with only one occupant inside, just the deceased. The alarm by the assistant chief stated that the vehicle had been abandoned off Magadi Road towards Ngarengiro Road, begging the question, where was Kuram, who drove with the deceased at this point? An autopsy conducted on Arshad's body in the presence of the Pakistani ambassador to Kenya, Kaslan Seidan, and her deputy Mohammed Juniad revealed that he had 2 gunshot wounds to the head and the upper back. The shot to Arshad's head entering the scalp from the left side, while that to the upper back was in the left side and punctured the lung. The injuries, according to the lawyer representing officers under investigations, Dansan Omari, might have been inflicted way before the vehicle got to the roadblock.
The vehicle was driving. The officers were on the right side, the driver's side of the car. So the bullets that were fired must have hit the vehicle definitely from the right-hand side and the back side, because the vehicle, after it passed the rubble, they still continued to respond.
The shot to the back, according to the post-mortem report, had a circular abrasion, meaning that the nozzle of the gun that shot him must have been in contact with his skin. The Pakistani government sent a team of 2 investigators who visited the country and concluded that Arshad's death was premeditated. The team that conducted a number of interviews, examined and reconstructed the crime scene, said in a 600-page report that Sharif's killing was premeditated. The report that concurred with the Kenyan autopsy report on the wound on his back, saying that the injury had to have been caused either before the journalist got into the vehicle or the shot was fired from a relatively close range, possibly from inside the vehicle and most certainly not from a moving vehicle. The backrest of the passenger seat in this vehicle also bore no bullet hole, speaking to a ballistic impossibility that the shot was fired from outside the vehicle. The Pakistani report differed with the Kenyan autopsy, where it stated that his body had 12 more injuries that were observed as torture marks. The Independent Policing Oversight Authority, IPOA, that is investigating the case in Kenya, says ballistic examination of the bullet heads recovered will help uncover who shot who.
Where the vehicle was coming from or where the vehicle was going, for us may not be a very critical issue. The fact is Arshad is dead and someone shot. Yes. Whose bullet was that? And under what circumstances? And was it justifiable?
IPOA is yet to present its report to the Director of Public Prosecution for action, even as it remains unclear whether the journalist who was a government critic back in Pakistan was shot from inside or outside the vehicle. Hassan Mugambi, Citizen TV.